Hello, once again, I'm Anthony Fuhrman here with BarBend. I'm the two-time World's Strongest Man, 105 kilogram champion. I've competed at the Arnold Pro, and of course, World's Strongest Man has just ended. Alexei Novikov has taken the title, which leads everyone to start talking about height and weight, taller, shorter, taller, shorter. So we're going to cover some pros and cons of being both tall and short in the sport of strongman, and of course, realize we have a exclusive interview with winner Alexei Novikov through BarBend, so go check that out. That's going to be a fantastic view right there. What is a tall strongman? What strongman is tall? Now, to ask that question, you have to ask, what are we talking about? Are we talking about open heavyweight? Are we talking about 105 kilogram class? Are we talking about women, etc.? For purposes of this video, we're going to stick with the open men's heavyweight. I might reference the 105s a little bit, but traditionally it's going to be the open heavyweight we're talking about. So I would say tall for a strongman is probably 6'3" and above. Tall strongman that have had success, Brian Shaw and Hafthor Bjornsson. Two of the tallest men to compete, and they're phenomenal. I mean, Brian has 4 world titles, and Hafthor has 1, but he dominated for a period of 2 years there. If he wouldn't have retired, who knows how many he would have had. Zydrunas is 6'3". He's done great in the sport. Jerry Pritchett is 6'4", just came in 4th. JF Caron, I believe, is 6'3". So now we're going to get into the pros of being a taller strongman, okay? And I have some notes here that I took just from my own experience and then talking with others. Probably the biggest advantage I see with a taller athlete is the loading. Any sort of loading, whether it's a medley, whether it's stones, whether it's kegs, whether it's sandbags. The loading is easier. So you have the longer arms for the picks, and you have the longer torso and longer legs for the load, because it's set height for the load generally. Whether it's 52 inches, 54 inches, 56 inches, 50, you see where I'm going, right? No matter where it's at, it's a set height. So the taller athletes tend to have an advantage on the loading. It's less effort. Also, I think one thing that people don't realize is stride. These bigger, taller athletes, a lot of time, they have longer strides. So when you're carrying farmers, when you're carrying kegs, traditionally, larger hands equals better grip. This is not always the case, so I'm not saying it is. But I will say that there is a strong positive correlation between larger hands and better grip. That's a fact. All right, now we're going to get into a bit of the cons of being a tall, strong man. So on the set heights, the silver dollar, the Apollone's wheels, whatever you want, 18-inch deadlift, whatever you want to call it, a shorter athlete tends to have the advantage. Look at the world's results this year. Alexei Novikov won it over better deadlifters from the floor like Jerry Pritchett, Brian Shaw, and JF Caron. Now, if you're tall and you have a set 18-inch or 15-inch deadlift, that is more distance for you to move as an athlete than someone shorter. One con, and this goes back to a little bit of the weight class stuff, but I feel like it has to be mentioned. If you are taller in like a weight class, whether it be a female weight class, male weight class, whatever, if you're limiting your weight, you are limiting your strength potential because you can't put on the mass and strength needed to compete to the potential of your body. So that is a disadvantage. If you feel that you are not strong enough to compete at the higher weight class and you try to cut down, you're only hurting yourself in the long run. You should stack that frame full of all the muscle you can. And that's my opinion. It's never going to change. I think you should stop shortchanging yourself. Another thing a lot of people don't talk about or know about is in max yoke events, a lot of times it's tougher. Of course, there are outliers, but when you're taller, once again, we talked about that stride. That's more time under tension on one leg as you're transferring that energy and that weight to the other leg. Your levers are longer, so there's more room for instability just in general from the core down, your hips. So that is a disadvantage. There's plane rides. I have the advantage. I get comfy no matter what class I'm in. My legs are generally fine. I'm 5'11", so I fit perfectly in a plane. I could fly for 14 hours and not have a cramp, not have an issue. So you tall bastards, that's what you get for being tall. I'm sorry. Okay, so now when we're going to talk about successful strongmen that aren't tall, we look at people like Eddie Hall, who's 6'2", of course. Krzysztof Radzikowski, he hasn't competed in a while, but if you know him, he's very, very good. Mikhail Shivlikov, he's only 6'1", believe it or not. He just has such a presence that people think he's taller. Vitalis Lawless is only 5'10", and Dimitar Sabatinov is only 5'10". Not to mention Rob Kearney, the pound-for-pound world's strongest man. He's 5'9". He was going for a world record log press. Myself, I'm 5'11". I've competed with them bigger guys. Alexei Novikov, the current reigning, defending, undisputed world's strongest man, is 6'1". So you do not need to be a tall freak of nature to be good at strongman. Here's what you need to be good at strongman. Good at strongman. I will never ever let my size dictate my abilities. I am in control of what I do, how I train, how I eat, and how I cope with things. And that is way more important to being a good strongman than your height. Do not let your height define or dictate who you are. You put in the work, you put in the effort, and you can do whatever you want in the sport. I firmly believe that. Remember, subscribe, click the link, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, BarBend. We're bringing you content in strongman, powerlifting, CrossFit, you name it. We got it. We got interviews. We have breakdowns like this. We have predictions. We have summations of previous lifts. BarBend's where it's at, so stick with us.